today is Sunday, the 6th of May. So, for all those people who celebrated Cinco de Mayo, I hope you had a great evening and not too bad of a headache today. For all of you that are like, what's that? Don't worry about it. Here in America, they celebrate Cinco de Mayo, which is the 6th of May. It's a revolutionary battle, I think, if I remember right. Don't quote me on that. You can look it up and see. It was always celebrated incorrectly by a lot of Americans. Not those that are of Hispanic background or Mexican, but by others. So there's weird sounds in the background, and I apologize. So today is, what did the Vixen say? And the question comes from YouareGodsmackt, who is a online friend that I met through COVID TV, who's also part of the Geknip Gang. And we both have a love in No Man's Sky. He's big into Euro fishing, which now I'm doing Fishing World, I think it is. Fishing Planet, Fishing World, I don't know. On PS4, which is free. It's just a fishing game, that's all. Kind of nice and relaxing if you need a relaxing period of time. So I like regular fishing, so. Anyway, so his question is what was my favorite 90s video game? Now, so this is a little longer of a question because I can't answer anything simple. You probably figure this out with me. That's why this is a perfect vlog series for me. There's never, to me, just a simple answer. I mean, you can say yes, but it's always like yes and, yes, but, yes, so, you know, or no, but, no, yes. I mean, sometimes there's no's that are flat, and sometimes they are yeses that are flat. Like, I suppose if somebody was to ask me to marry him, that would be a flat yes. Though I don't think I'd answer it that way. It'd probably be yes, but when were you thinking about having it? And yes, why do you need to get married? And yes, so those kind of things. I have to pause. Okay, so I haven't quite gotten my editing perfect yet. This is an ongoing problem for me. So, alright, so what is my favorite 90s game? Well, so we need a little history here. I've played games in the 80s. Did a lot of arcade video games. So I have a lot of favorites from the arcade genre that came out in the 90s. But I'm going to take it this way. In 1991, I became pregnant. Actually, in 1990, I became pregnant because you get pregnant, 9 months before you have the baby. So around October of 1990, yes, I kind of know when, I got pregnant. And then for a baby shower gift, the father of the child gave me an NES. And then I asked for Christmas, I think, I got a Sega. So I had the NES and the Sega, and I was stoked. And so some of the games, so the funny thing is that my favorite game of that time period was not from the 1990s, from the 1980s, and it was Final Fantasy I, made by Square, who later on became, Square Inc., as we all know. But that was my first game for my NES, and it, besides Zelda and Duck Hunt. We had Duck Hunt and Zelda and Final Fantasy. And I think he said it came in a package, but I'm not positive. But those were the games that were there when I got it. And I played Final Fantasy the whole time I was pregnant. And I had gotten to, like, the very end of it. I had to put it away for a little while because I got sick after I had my daughter. And went to go back to it, and it got erased when my daughter was crawling, learning to crawl. So, it's my fault for hanging on to it. But that was one of my favorite games. My other favorite game was for my Sega. And I had Sonic the Hedgehog 1, 2, and 3. And then eventually I had the last one, which was Sonic and Knuckles the Hedgehog. Yeah, Sonic, not Knuckles the Hedgehog. Knuckles is not really a hedgehog. I mean, he's kind of related to hedgehogs, but differently. And so of that, Sonic and Knuckles was my favorite. I played the other ones. I have them still. They were my favorite in that I also bought them in each time I got a new console. So when I got the GameCube, I bought the whole collection. I have a whole collection and I still have it, and we play it on the Wii. Eventually, I'm going to have to replace it because when the Wii goes, you can't play GameCube games on the Wii U. So it'd be fabulous if you could, but you can't. So, I'm going to read off some other ones, though, that were my favorite of that time period. I had to write them down because I don't remember really well. And then I'll kind of briefly talk about, you know, whether I beat them or not. I don't remember some of them. I don't think I ever beat the original Sonic the Hedgehog. I did beat Sonic and Knuckles twice. Which, if I remember right, was very rage-inducing game for me. I'm not very good. Remember that. You see, everybody laughs. All right, so I'm not going to read them in time order. I'm just going to tell you when they came out. So Sonic and Knuckles was 1994. Sonic the Hedgehog was 1991, which makes sense. My daughter was born in 1991. I got the Sega in 1991, and it was considered a new game when I bought it. So, Sonic the Hedgehog 2 came out in 1992, which explains why I had it. Final Fantasy Tactics. Now, I bought Final Fantasy Tactics but not for the PlayStation. I got it for the first Game Boy Advance, if I remember right. And I carried that poor little game along for each of the Game Boys I had thereof. I think that I eventually lost it because the last Game Boy I had was right before the Game Boy 3D thing, and then that was it. And so I haven't really bought it since then. But it was one of my favorite games in that it was interesting how they would do Final Fantasy characters and a concept of like chess. So I really liked that. I didn't do very well on it. I mean, I did okay when I was doing it, but I just didn't have the patience because those were really long battles, some of them. You really had to be, you know, highly powerful, as it is in most cases. Sorry, my face is bothering me, you know that. Super Mario Brothers 3, 1990. Now, that was the one that was played the most in the house, was Super Mario Brothers 3. And I have that also on a package disc that I got for the Wii. It had all the Mario's Brothers things, and some of the ones that weren't as popular were arcade games. Like Princess Peach's thing that she does. There's this one with umbrellas and things, and I could care less about that game. But I got that, and I have it for the Wii. Again, eventually I'll have to rebuy them all again, which is kind of my problem with games. It's why some games I've never put back in, because I just didn't want to keep rebuying them, even though I like them. If I buy it for a PS2, you know, because I had it on PS1, then I have to buy it for the PS4 because it would work on the PS3, but it wouldn't work on the PS4, and then, you know, how it goes. So it kind of is like, if I had all the money in the world and I could pick what I wanted to do, I'd have a library like that. I've seen that guy that has every single video game that's ever been published. I have a kitty crying. So she'll probably be in my lap soon. It would be Lulu. Let's see. So the next one, of course, is The Legend of Zelda. And it was the very first one that I had for the NES. You know, with little side guy went into things. Yep, now she's bumping into my stuff. Go away, Lulu. Or come up here. One of the two. Come on. No, you're just going to bump into my thing. That was 1991. Super Mario Brothers 2 was 1990. So, of course, came out before I had the NES. This is an interesting game. I had this not for, I think it was a PS1, but it was made for one of either, I think, Sega or Nintendo, but I don't remember. And that was Chrono Trigger. And I probably had a second one or whatever, but I played that one too. In 1997, I got the PS1. I bought it for the Final Fantasy VII that came out. It was a package deal, if I remember right, or I just knew I wanted to play Final Fantasy. What had happened is I had moved from Sacramento, California to Redding, California, and I had a job, and then I didn't have a job, and I was waiting to go back to school, and so I had some time on my hands, and I decided I was going to buy me a console, because all my other consoles had died by that time, and I was missing playing video games. Alright, so Super Mario World also came out in 1990. We played that one, but I didn't have that one, if I remember right, because I think that was for the 64, but don't quote me on that. One of them was for the 64, and I didn't have the 64, my daughter's father had the 64, and whenever we'd go over there to hang out, I'd play with the kids. But I didn't have a 64 at home because I didn't have the source of income. I was going to school and didn't really, I was poor. I've been poor my whole life, but sometimes I'm a little less poor than other times. The Legend of Zelda, the Ocarina of Time, which, if I remember right, I had it for the GameCube. I don't think I had it for the 64. Maybe I had it for the GameCube. I don't know if that's what it came out for, but there's a big gap in, I didn't have any NES stuff till I got the GameCube. And I got the GameCube after it came out, a while after it came out. If I remember, I think I put it on layaway. I put that and a, well, maybe not. I know I put a PS2 on layaway once and got that in around 1999, 2000. How do I know this? Because I remember the time of what I was doing and where I was at. And I was still going to school, but I was working part-time at a department store, and that's how I got it. I did pitch it. So some of the games of the 90s that I like were in the later part of the 90s that I got when I got my PS2 and had my PS1. So it was Tomb Raider. I don't remember which one. I want to say it's the original Tomb Raider for the PS1, but I can't remember off the top of my head. I just know there was that one, and then there was one. There's the one where you go down in the China wall, and then there was the one where you end up with that freaking T-Rex chasing you around. And then Crash Bandicoot. Okay, so that had to be a household favorite, was Crash Bandicoot. And I have all of those. I had all of those, all of them, in a package deal towards the end there on the PS2, I think. I didn't have any game console in the early 2000s. I played a lot of computer games and stuff, but I just didn't have the money to invest in any new consoles, so I had the PS2 till it died. And then the PS, I never actually bought a PS3. We got one when my grandson's father got his PS4. He let us have the PS3 for my grandson so we could watch Netflix. I had an Xbox 360 at that time that I bought brand new for myself for my birthday. I don't remember when. It was before I moved here. So it's been about 4 years, 5 years or so. And then that one died, and somebody gave me another one because I was like sad. And now I have, you know, PS3, PS4, Xbox One, Xbox 360, the Wii, Wii U, and my son has a Switch. And then my computers, if I wanted to play. And you think about how times have changed. I've also have my mobile devices, which have games on them. But anyway, so 1990 for the PS1, Final Fantasy VII was what I bought it with. Tomb Raider, Dino Crisis, which came out in 1999. Dino Crisis is like one of my absolutely favorite games. I played that one over and over and over and over and over again. Parasite Eve was another one. I was so glad to get through that game. It was really scary. That game scared me. Dino Crisis scared me too, because I always heard the dinosaurs behind me. It was the first game I played where you had the sound behind you. And it was like, you just knew that one of those really vicious dinosaurs was breathing down your neck, getting ready to jump on you, and it made me freak out. I would be like, ah! And I'd run. I had a problem with the T-Rex in that game too. Seems like I have problems with T-Rexes a lot. And then there's a game that very few people know about, because I've talked about it to other people, and they're like, I don't know what game you're talking about. But it came out for, I think, the PS1. I think that's when I had it. And it's called Alundra. Oh, I love that game. It was very much like Zelda, though. With a little more fanciness to it. But it was a really fun game. And towards the end, I was replaying it when I was pregnant with my son in 2004. But it came out in 1997. So I had the game for a long time. I had the special edition. That one, and there was another one I had that, Star something, that I had the whole big giant case and the maps, and it was a collection I had. So, that was a fun game too. I've had other games I really like, but if we go back to the original question was, what was your favorite 1990s games? So if I could only pick one for each console, it would be Final Fantasy 1 for the NES. It would be Sonic and Hedgehog for the Sega. It would be, let's see, the GameCube came out somewhere around there. I'm not positive when. It may have been in 2000, but it came out someplace around there. And I bought the same games I had for the NES. You know, I bought the package deal for Sega for the Sonic. I got the Sonic collection. So that would be my favorite. And Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is one I liked, but I wasn't very good at it. I never could get out of the second or third year of it. I still have it, and I was thinking I might stream it down the road when I get better at, you know, hooking things up through the OBS. Let's see, PS1 would have to be, like I said, Final Fantasy VII, with a close second to Dino Crisis and Alundra. I would, though, rebuy Primal if they ever remade it. I like that one. And then there was another one my daughter had that was like Kyra or something, where you were this young girl got pulled into this other dream-like scape. That was fun, too. But I'm thinking that was a PS2 game, so I'm not positive. And then, let's see. So the PS2, I had a lot more games for. And my favorite PS2 game would probably be Final Fantasy 9 or 10. Because I liked 8 a lot. I'm one of the few people that like Final Fantasy 8. I love Final Fantasy 9. I liked Final Fantasy 10. 10-2 is a little better than 10. One of them they went to online only, so that's either 11 or 12. So whichever one it's not is the one I liked. I played that one and beat it too on the PS2. PS3, for me, can't really tell you what's my favorite because it's kind of a skip. Then went to the Xbox. First Xbox, I think I played Assassin's Creed. And then Xbox 360 would be Assassin's Creed, the run for that. Fallout. But now we're in the 2000s. So that's it. That's my favorite run of video games. When I would go to the arcade, my favorite games were Tempest. I don't really like Joust. I played Joust. Played it on the console. Still would probably play it. Because it's kind of an interesting game. It's really hard. Tempest and Centipede are usually my two favorites, and a pinball. But my absolute favorite arcade game, which is very hard to find now, is Burger Time, where you run across the little guy who go blah, 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 and make burgers. I love that game. Not a big Pac-Man fan. Played it, but not a big Pac-Man fan. Not a big Star Wars fan. And video games. I play them, but not a big fan. But, yeah. I'm not very good. Final Fantasy I probably liked because you could beat it. You didn't have to be a great video game player to beat it. You just had to be tenacious and know how to upgrade and just keep at it. So that's probably why I really liked it. All the rest of the games, you had to either be really good at jumping and sliding and doing those things, or good at cheating, knowing how to get around the program. So that's it. The next one coming up should be Rambling 10. No, next one that comes up is not Rambling. Next one will be one of my just topics. I'm not sure yet which topic. I'm leaning towards secrets, exploring that. And keep asking me questions, and I will give you a shout out. So like I said, go check out YouareGodsmackt. He has a YouTube channel, and he has his brother has a YouTube channel, and they both make spectacular No Man's Sky trailers and things like that. So catch y'all on the flip side. I'm out of here. Peace. Ooh, that was a sneeze. Sorry.